I know only English. But because I know only English doesn't mean that I cannot be insensitive to the fact that cultures in South India are distinctly different from North. I think I think language is a big representative of culture. It's a very big representation of culture. So as I've dived deeper into this in the last 10 years, I've realized that all the four South Indian, I actually clubbed all the four South Indian states as one to say it's different from the North. But as I dive deeper, I discover even within the four South Indian states, there's lots and lots of differences. I'm still at the beginning of it. I think just because I don't know enough doesn't mean that I should oversimplify myself and say, no, all South Indians are the same and South India, North India is the same. So I think there's huge global opportunity if we recognize that we have four cultures or subcultures within South India. And as marketers, advertising agencies, we realize that if we connect with this group of people more acutely, more minutely, we will be better off. I read a very famous quotation by a sociologist called Paul Harris, and it's very telling. Consumers globalize, people don't.
It's not about Senthil and Madhukar. I think it's advertising community and marketing community. I think we view it life in a very different way. I think we should go and then strike that off as consumers. Correct? There are no consumers, we are people. And then the moment you start looking at everything as people, we are not, am I introducing myself as SSCA male? Do we? That's how people view us. So the moment you see life in a very different way, leave advertising, leave marketing for a moment, think about people. And then the moment you start dealing with people, then the game changes completely. And then what do we view? We view people, their relationships, their feelings, and then their emotions, and then the environment in which they live. There is no right answer. You can use different languages, but you can use different cultural nuances. You can use a Pongal here, or you can use another festival in North. But at the end of the day, whom are you dealing with? What do you want them to see? Advertising is not about cracking some silly jokes, and marketers are not stupid to really entertain you without any substance. Good communication is all about changing human behavior. And then you are behaving in a certain way, and then you want them to behave in certain way. And then what triggers change in that behavior is what good communication always does. And then for that, does not matter whether you live in Madurai or Timbuktu, one need to understand who you are and then the way you behave and what can I do to change your life and then make it better. For the snacks, why did you borrow a samosa here? Correct? It does not matter, nothing really matters, we are all human beings first. And there are lots of things, if we want to see dissimilarities, we will only see dissimilarities. If we choose to see the similarities, we see the similarities. And it is a pure commercial thing. Nobody is doing anything. If your market is big enough, and then they will come and then do. If your city is big enough, they will come and then do advertising for your city. If your colony is big enough, they will come and then create separate advertising communication for your colony. If you consume 40 crores worth of condoms in one household, they will come, drop everything and then bring everyone. Correct? So that is the business reality. I remember one commercial which we did many years back for Woodward's Gripe Water. It was done in different languages. It has only one word of language in that, N-I-C. Yeah? It has only one word, Ema Hindi. What happened? Kya hua? And only one word. What we did is after a certain point in time, we changed. And then we ran Bengali ad in Chennai, and then we took the Chennai one in West Bengal, and people learned a new language. But it is not language all the time. And it is the emotion. It's the same thing across the world. If child cries the same way and mother emotes the same way. So our job as communicators is to hang on to those human emotions and then communicate with them.
We must remember we are talking to people and not consumers. But people are part of are byproduct of a culture. And we must recognize the 4 South Indian subcultures are distinctly different from the North culture. And I'm agreeing with you that maybe UP and Bihar are also different. Who knows? And that's why when Senthil said we could be 22 countries, it could be 22 countries with 22 different acts. It is an oversimplification to say that because of efficiencies we want to do a single act. You said about if a market gives 40 crores or 400 crores of a particular product, marketers should go there. I think marketers have an opportunity of creating the market. Asian Paints created a market of exteriors by going to Kerala and locally connecting with them.
We fool ourselves saying that 3 women and then husband and wife is only important to South Indians, not important to North Indians. Be damned with their wives. No, the reason why that works is they know everything about tea. We know nothing. We only leftover tea is what Dust Tea is all about. Ask them about coffee, they know nothing. We know everything about coffee, and which is fine. And then the differences do not come from there. Differences come from understanding of the habit of those people, and then what they drink, and then why they drink, and then how they drink.
So when you said we are people but we are not consumers, I find it very strange, because we consume food, we consume colas, we consume a lot of alcohol, we consume pongal, we consume content on television, we consume online content, and what we consume is very different in each of these 4 states. I'd like to point that out. I'll give an example of pickle. In the south, when we openly ask for avakai in your state, urga here, upinkai in Bengaluru, or kadumanga in Kerala, people like it, they say wow. But in some parts of the north, if you ask for pickle, they will get very upset.
No, they won't.
They will get upset. They'll think you don't like their flavor.
Boss, I come from a mango country. There are 72 variants of mango pickles in south. There are 740 different variations in north, including UP,
you're not
West Bengal, Rajasthan, everywhere. Get your maths right.
You never ask for pickle in a North Indian house. You're talking out of context.
No.
That's the importance. You have to have some local context.
Boss,
Local interpretation
I am
is
Aam Aadmi, don't talk about Aam with me.
And also to counter your point about not changing, Shaleen's point about not changing the idea, I agree with you. I think it's very lazy if you also don't change the expression. I think creative people in all agencies in this country have to work hard on the expressions of the idea, like Madhukar also pointed out, because that is where you actually convert the consumer to your brand.
You say everything to your convenience.
I have to know, sir.
No, we say that we don't want Hindi ads, but we want Nagma, we want Kushbu, and then we want Kajal Agarwal, we want Tamanna. Accept everything gracefully rather than living in a little cocoon. We want our Rahman to go global, but we don't want to accept Anu Malik here.
No, I'm not saying don't accept. We want to simplify life to ourselves to say everything can be universal. I think that we should get away from.
There's a Vedic saying that Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vidanti. The truth is one.
Nobody understood it.
That's a Sanskrit, the oldest classical language.
The truth is one. People call it by many names. One of the things is Tom Lasseter, the chief animationist of Pixar, have created many movies, Finding Nemo, Cars, Ratatouille, and people asked him, what's the secret of so many successful hits in a row? And his answer was just one, that I celebrate the universality of human emotions. The point I want to make is that should we celebrate our differences or should we celebrate our consistencies?
Yes.
I'm 100% sure, ladies and gentlemen, that the kind of environment and the kind of world my kids will grow into and your kids will grow into will be popularized by brands that will be universal. 2 days back, Apple launched... Just hang on. 2 days back, Apple launched in China. The phone launched in China. There was no advertising by Apple, and the product is flying off the shelves because it touches on the product is so universally loved. When you see a good painting across cultures, people are stunned. Great ideas, Madhukar, great ideas on the contrary, they travel and they're culture neutral.
We have to be very sensitive to culture if we want to get deeper connects. Proof is that global brands have actually adapted to Indian culture to connect with India as a whole. Now the opportunity is there to recognize that there are subcultures within India. India is 22 subcultures. clearly there are 4 subcultures in the South. There's a big opportunity for marketers if they are able to connect with the 4 subcultures to reap greater benefits, just as global brands have benefited by adapting to Indian culture. There's a big opportunity. Oversimplification is change the celebrity, dub in the language, and think you've done the local connect. It's not that. And last bit is, marketers are waiting for markets to become big before doing a local communication. I think that's a mistake. There's an opportunity to do local connect and become big in each of these markets. And it can be, the same principle can be applied to Bengal, can be applied to Gujarat, can be applied to Maharashtra, can be applied to them. It's all about understanding that local culture is very important. And cultures are not going to die. You have to remember, if, for example, there can be one India, it's almost assuming that all of us will become like Americans, just because McDonald's creates the global brand. And I think that will be the biggest mistake marketers will do.
I think there is no one answer to anything because people are different, and then you cannot take a view that anything comes out of north of India is all bad and then we won't accept it. We have accepted many things, and then we must accept. We should not stereotype our own selves because we are changing, and we cannot live in that world. We need to look at similarities and then try and then speak to people with what is similar, because we live in a very complex country. My opposition has been saying that 22, but every 22 kilometers a dialect changes in our country. There are more than 6,500 dialects in our country. What do? 20 kilometers a dialect changes. Are you going to deal with every dialect? Of course we will. If each 20 kilometers is going to give you enough money, and if the media is available, and then if you can localize your communication to that, then they will do it. Till then, you need to optimize it by saying that every 400 kilometers I am going to do this, every 4,000 kilometers I am going to do that, every geography I am going to do that. And if we want to look at differences, we will see lots of differences. If you look at similarities, then lots of similarities. South Indians, though we are called as South Indians, we are an integral part of the progress, and then we have lots of things, and then don't let anyone stereotype us. We are open to everything, and then we have feelings. It is not that we don't have feelings and then we have feelings, and then we recognize that other mothers will also have the same feelings. And then if we let ourselves to be stereotyped, and you will have more lungi dances coming out of Bollywood.
Based on the debate, the outcome of the debate, whoever is supporting for the motion moves to the right. And guys who are supporting against the motion post the debate, please move to the left. Whoever is supporting against the motion, come on guys, move fast. Okay, as we see, the crowd is more to the right. So the guys for the motion are the winners of this evening, but however, there is no conclusive answer to these kind of debates because it keeps changing, perspectives keep changing each time depending on the product and the market. There is no right way or wrong way, it really depends on the product, but these guys have done well and so have them. Congrats and thank you for a great debate.